Right, this is what you get when you get an Outback door top kit. You get 2 of these, complete the seals in, 2 sets of these, which is your squeegee rubber replacement, and you need to fit them if yours are knackered. 2 latches, you'll get 4 stainless steel studs, nuts, washers, and a whole load of stainless steel screws to screw it in. It has been completely assembled, all the screws fit, so we know you won't have any trouble. Basically, that's the channel that comes out, your bottom channel. Take that out of the way. Hook out the top and the 2 sides. It's now ready for painting. Prime it, paint it the colour of your choice. The top runner has a hole in it. That's not an accident, it's meant to be like that, simply because the non-sliding or fixed pane is slightly bigger than the sliding one, and you need a bit of clearance to get it in there. Now, these panes, depending on where and when they were made, vary in size, and this one is 418mm across the top. If it's over that, it won't go in without you cutting a corresponding slot in the bottom as the top for the glass to sit in. Right. I'm not going to put any C60, this is the stuff we use to stick the seals in, simply because this has got to go for painting, and we haven't got that far yet. You can get this from any good DIY store. There's enough there to keep you happy for years. It doesn't come in any smaller quantities either, and it's cheap as chips, cut 3 quid. All we do when you're putting the seals in is to put a little bit of C60 down the middle, and it's literally used as an adhesive. Make sure you put the right one in the right way around, in the right door. On the 3 sides that are fixed, like that. That one goes in there, like that. And you literally use it just to hold them in place. Because this is a neoprene seal that should last the life of your vehicle and beyond. Put them in, that's it. Don't put any sealant in the bottom one because it's screwed in. So what you got to do, you could do with a useful second pair of hands with this, unless you're an octopus. Sit that in there, just where it so it clears the front. So you just slide it in. Your sliding pane, make sure you put the squeegee on the right way around if you've changed it. That sits in there like that, and this is where I can do the octopus. Just get this bit, and you slide your corresponding glass into each slot, like that, and you give it a wiggle. I'm obviously struggling a bit with the rubber because this one hasn't been glued, because it's all coming to pieces again to be painted. This is one of our prototypes. That's it, glass in. Pull that right forward, that goes right into the front. If you want to put a bit of sealer, the C60, down the middle of the outer channel, when you push the glass in, that'll hold it and it won't actually go anywhere, it'll never come open. If you end up cutting the bottom channel in order to get your oversized glass in, you can run a bit of sealer in there before you assemble it, and again, it'll stop it rattling around. And then all you got to do, you might want to come around this side so you can see it. It allows these little screws, and they're all A2 grade stainless, which will be fine in our climate, unless you happen to be washing your Land Rover in salt water, which is probably not the best thing to do with it. All the holes are pre-drilled, and we have had screws in every single one of them. And this is the most fiddly, because there's a pane of glass in the way. And I will screw these in just to show you they do actually go in the hole. And they say it is a bit of a fiddle. There it goes. But I have had all the screws in, so we know it all goes together, because it's a bit of a fiddle. You will probably find that your local body shop, if you get them to paint them, will quite happily put them together for you if you're struggling. And you just screw this in so it just disappears, well, you'll be able to see it, below the surface of the rubber. You're not screwing the fourth row bridge together. So you just screw it down so it just disappears. I'll screw that one right in. Open that one, so obviously that glides over it. Give your old seals a bit of wiggle to get them into position. You may have to trim the seals up a bit, but it's probably good to have a dummy run without sealer so you get yourself familiar with what's got to be done. You could do this, as there's no glass in the way now, with a cordless drill, or a drillless cord, whichever way you want to do it. There you go. There's one there, one there, one there, one there, and 3 up the front. That is all that's required. The only thing I did forget to mention, I've noticed that we put behind that there, before we assemble the bottom channel, a bit of the C60, just a thin bead. Then when you put it together, it creates a seal on the outside of the channel. That's about the only bit we put on the bottom. There you go. That I won't put all the screws in because I say this one's got to come apart again to be painted. That's that shut. I haven't got a nice thing to get hold of there because this is a dud bit of glass. But that's it. Like that. And that goes in the hole. Again, you get screws to screw, and I'm not going to screw it all the way in because I'll show you when it's done. These are all been drilled and screws have been fitted, so it all goes together. That is it. That is as complicated as it gets. I will show you one that is completely finished other than paint. There you go, from the inside, job done. That's it. That is all there is to it. This one's got a bit of glass on it you get hold of. If the glass is a bit stiff to run, put a bit of the old silicone spray on it. That's what it looks like from the outside. Again, these are going to be painted. Remember, these are straight off the factory floor or our workshop floor, ready for paint. No real finishing done. So it's obviously down to you what finish you want to do on them. Can leave it as it is. It'll tarnish and go dull. Or paint them. The only last thing to do, because it's obviously not going to stay on the door without something in the bottom. These are stainless steel studs, and I don't know whether you can see on there, but one end's got more thread than the other. Well, the bottom line is the one with the less thread on goes up your hole. Simple as that. Stick a bit of Loctite on it, screw all the way in, and just nip it with a pair of moulds, butcher's tool. And leave it to go off overnight. The only reason we put Loctite on is when you try to undo these, obviously with a nine lock, the whole bleeding lock fall out, and then the door top will fall off. If you ever need to take it apart in the future. And that is it. That is as complicated as it needs to be.